Hello and welcome back to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 58 today, and this is turning into a remarkable season. We are second in the league, 3 points ahead of Bristol Rovers, who also came up from League 2 with us last year. And if you take aside runaway leaders Charlton, this is becoming one hell of a race for promotion. So it's going to be a very interesting end to the season. Our form was just drying up, but we've picked up in the last game. And today, after yet another postponement, we face Crewe Alexandra, one of those sides in the mix. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on, as well as transfer deadline date, where we do need to get a couple of additions in, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. You can find the head coach playlist up in the eye above. That one will be back tomorrow at 3:30. There's also the new video from the food channel, the podcast channel for football content, and the Twitch channel for live streams too. And of course you can follow all the social medias to find plenty of live stream clips. But let's get cracking with our recent results and with the transfer window so far, because we've been left a little bit short in a couple of positions. And although we're just about clinging on at the minute, it's not something we can probably afford with the fixture congestion soon to come. So let's start by having a look at the schedule. You were with me last time out as we lost disappointingly to Crawley in the FA Cup and then beat Coventry to get into that second place mix in the league. Since then, they've bottled it. We went on a good run, but it did just fall away in the last few games. So we beat Lincoln 2-0 with Will Swan and Stuart Parry scoring 2 in 2 minutes. We then had Bristol Rovers at home, frustrating 0-0 draw as again odd players were missing. A 4-1 win against Northampton on Boxing Day, 2 for Bullock, 1 for Jones and 1 for Egan. A 4-2 win against Walsall, 1 for Jones, 1 for Parry, 1 for Hazeman and 1 for Tristan Nydam, who got a rare start. On New Year's Day, we beat Forest Green thanks to Alidor Hamilton and Bullock's second half goals. Then 1-1 draws against Morecambe, Javan Malcolm finally ending a goal drought, and 0-0 draw away at Cheltenham, despite them being down to 10 men for the last 40 minutes. A 1-0 defeat at home to Rotherham, who, to be fair, outclassed us, and you can see G-Cock was still the man of the match in that game. But we did bounce back against Luton Town, a 2-0 victory. We'd scored the first before they went down to 10, but Stuart Parry and Leon Bullock made sure of the 3 points. We were supposed to play at home to bottom side Accrington Stanley on Saturday. That one has been called off as well, which means we've got a 3-game week coming up, and it's the first of 2 or 3 over the next 6 weeks. In fact, we've got 4 midweek fixtures between now and the middle of March. So this is where the squad really gets tested, and we're a little bit shorter than we once were, because if we go to the transfer screen, we've got some job offers going about. We've been getting offers for Harry Thornley, the only first teamer we've had offers for this month, but he's not going anywhere, and he's not complaining, to be fair to him. If we go and have a look at the history though, some difficult news. Kenny Craig has been recalled by Aberdeen, our 4th choice striker, which means we're down to Javan Malcolm, who's not really scoring, Ricky J. Jones, who's been a bit injury prone, and obviously Stuart Parry, who's not quite there yet. Jack McMillan has been recalled by Ross County, which isn't a disaster given that we got Thornhill. But we are those 2 players short. In addition to that, we've loaned out Josh Berry, who was our 4th choice central defender. So he has gone to Swindon in League 2, where he's playing football now excellently, and hopefully that will give him a chance to develop. And we also let out Matt Shenton, who came back from his loan. He's gone from Ireland to Barrow. Hopefully a slightly higher level of football for him in League 2. And we sold Jordan Stevens at a massive loss. My first and probably only big transfer mistake of the series. We spent big money on him, offered him big wages, and now he's gone to play in League 2. So that has not gone well at all. Let's go and have a look though at what might happen on deadline day if we can't get the targets we want, because we have got loads of players out on loan at the moment. And I'm looking in some positions and thinking, would it just be easier to get them back, particularly in defence? We've got the likes out on loan. We know Josh Berry's gone, but Bilal Jesus Garcia is playing in the National League for Yeovil. He's really improving, can cover at right back and centre mid. I just wonder if now's the time to bring him back, let him realise his potential. We've then got to bear in mind that despite no offers coming in, there are still bits of interest for some of our attacking players. Will Swan being one. We've offered him a new deal, and Callum Hazeman. There's also Farcarson who wants to go, but there doesn't seem to be much happening yet. Has said he's not going to stay at the end of his contract though. And then the likes of Thornley, Bullock and Ricky J. Jones. I'm so glad we got that Bullock deal tied down, because he would have been gone for that 400 odd grand that his release clause was. And Ricky J. Jones, look, He's a great player, but I do fear he's going to get snapped up. And he has had injury problems this year, it's got to be said. So we're desperately looking for a striker to give us an option, ideally to start instead of Javan Malcolm, and then a centre-half to be part of the squad too. We did have one player that we were really looking closely at, but we've lost out on him. It looks like he's off to Australia instead of us. Was this guy who's got 24 caps under his belt, 7 goals. He's a great finisher, good composure. He wanted to be a poacher and he played on the left side. It would have been the perfect foil for Ricky J. Jones on the other side, but it wasn't to be. He wanted £4,000 a week. We couldn't offer that, and he rejected our deal to go to Sydney instead. So we've lost out on a great target there. We lost out on Rodell Richards in the summer, and that leaves us with a lot of work to do. There's some players linked with us, so let's go and get into deadline day and see who we can bring into the club. Right, well, interestingly, these 2 players we're linked with on loan, no wage contribution required from their parents' clubs. So I'm going to go in for both of them. We've made offers, and then we've just got to find a defender. But if we get those 2, I'll probably be happy just to bring back Garcia. Let's take part in deadline day, see if there's any news. Well, in addition to the 2 we saw on the last screen, we've also made a loan offer for Alexander Harrop. He is at Reading, has not played a senior game for anyone, but again, no wage contribution, so we'll bring him in and see what he's like. We are going to keep rejecting offers for Thornley. He is not for sale. We want to keep him here. With 14 hours to go, apart from a few loans in, unless we get a big offer for Malcolm, it's going to be a quiet day. 13 hours to go. There are offers coming in for some of the loan players that we've bid for. There's also an update on the number of scouts we can have, which is lovely. We'll allow one more of them. We'll get through the weekly staff meeting off camera, because I'm not too worried about that. But big offers for Bullock and Thornley. What are they going to be like? Bullock is... oh, that's pathetic. Less than 200 grand. I mean, seriously. Thornley up to 275 now. It's getting a little bit closer, but we're going to hold firm. Ideally, I want at least $1 million for both of them, and I don't think we're getting near that today. Well, here start the problems. Leon Bullock unhappy that we're not letting him go. So I'm just going to say, quite frankly, the finances weren't right. What does he want on there? Oh, 1.2 million's fine. If you get that offer today, you can go. Another hour, another offer. We've rejected one for Thornley and we're getting some aggro for it. So we're going to say about the finances again. 1.3 million. Again, if we can make 2.5 million today, we'll certainly take it. We'll let any player go for that. Well, the luxury midfielder we were hoping for from Arsenal has rejected us to go to Barnsley. However, Harrop, the young centre-half, and Mellon, the young centre-forward, have both agreed to join. Now, we looked at Mellon in the summer, so we know he's okay. Harrop, we're completely blind. But we've done this before with McDonough, we've done it with Kobe Rowe, etc., and it's worked a treat. And for a fourth-choice centre-half, does it really matter? As long as we've got a decent player, it's all right. That could be our work for the day done. Let's see how good these 2 are and whether we need to take any further action. Well, that's a bit of a pleasant surprise. Alexander Harrop is 2.5-star ability with big potential. Let's have a look at him. Oh, he's not bad. So he's a bit short. He's not great in the air. He's not going to be a regular by any means, but a good personality, good tackler, and a good person to have in the dressing room. So Alexander Harrop will be welcomed by Brian Moore. What about Mellon? He is also 2.5-star ability, even bigger potential, Premier League level. What's he like? Pace is my worry. Yeah, he's not quick, but I tell you what, for a poacher, he's got all the attributes, hasn't he? Do you know what? I'm happy with that. I feel our work's done with 10 hours to go. It's just whether we get any more offers, and with those big asking prices slapped on some of the youngsters, I think we're going to be safe. Let's go and see. Well, it's not big enough, thankfully, but we have had another offer for Bullock. What we've got to bear in mind here, with offers coming in from largely League One and Championship clubs for some of our players, you've got to understand how good these kids are. And maybe it's no surprise we're up here because our summer recruitment is a lot better than we initially thought. Interestingly though, we've also got an offer for Will Swan. Now it's not a very good one, we're not going to sell him for this price, but for a player out of contract in 6 months, great to be getting good offers. Well, what the hell has happened here? We've got to 2 hours to go in the window, and I can see Norwich offering Thornley loan back. I can also see an offer below it. Don't you dare say the chairman's accepted it. Why? Why would you get involved? Leon Bullock is getting offers for $500,000. We're going to reject those. Let's try and work out what's going on. Oh, come on. We can't even discuss it. We cannot even discuss it. He's taken into his own hands 650 grand. I mean, potentially it's a big offer. It is, but that is ridiculous. Can we have the loan back? Yes, please. He would like to see out the rest of the season. Look, let's look at the positive here, which is he's going to come back and give us at least half a chance at promotion. But we're just about to lose the model citizen, the superstar. I know we got him on a free in the summer and he's now going for about 1.5 million, but it's a disaster. We're about to lose one of our best players out the blue, 2 hours to go. And with the offers coming in for Bullock now reaching 500,000, I'm a little worried the same might happen to him. Even then, how do we replace him in the summer? He's our only remotely brilliant centre-half. And why can't we even discuss it? Normally when you get to this stage, you can discuss whether a player's going to leave or not. Whereas here, we've not even been given the option. So let's see what happens. I can't see him turning them down, but we'll get him back for the year, hopefully. But I think we're going to lose one of our star players. Not the enter deadline date we were hoping for. And there it is. It didn't take long, did it? Off he goes for up to 1.5 million. Liverpool have got a 15% sell-on clause, which is frustrating. And yes, it probably pays for the next facility upgrade, but if we'd have stayed this year with this squad and we'd have got promoted, he would have been worth 3 or 4 million. That's why it's so frustrating. Thankfully, he comes back on loan. He's still going to be here and fight for promotion with us, as we've had with Scott Egan in the past. But that is disappointing. He's only been here half a year. It's a great profit, but it's one of our best players, one of our best personalities. So not the best finish to deadline date. There's 1 hour to go. And I'm resigned to the fact that we may lose Bullock as well. Hopefully, it's too late for that to happen. 45 minutes to go. We're getting offers for Will Swanstill from Peterborough. We're not going to take them because I can't deal with any more business now. I just want to get the day over and done with and not lose anyone else. Which we've done. But what a body blow that is. Harry Thornley is still here for the rest of the season, but that is it. It is a loan deal after Norwich have bought him, 650k up front, rising to up to 1.5 million. And our best player with the best personality has just been swooped away like that. That is a disaster. The positives, Harrop comes in on loan, Mellon comes in on loan. We have got a stronger squad than we started the day with, but we know in the summer we're going to have a lot more work to do. Unless maybe, a bit like Egan, we can keep loaning Thornley in. And then maybe when his contract expires with Norwich, we'll get him back for nothing again. But I'm feeling a little bit frustrated, a little bit let down by the chairman after all the money we've raised for him. And we've shown that we will sell players when the price is right before, as we did with Egan, as we did with Andre Brooks, you'll remember, a few years ago. So that one's a bit of a body blow. And if that's a culture he's going to create moving forward, we're in big, big trouble because we've got a lot of very good young players here. Let's skip ahead though to Crewe Alexandra, a big game in the race for the playoffs or maybe even promotion. And looking at Thornley going now and the offers we were getting for Bullock, this is arguably our best chance. Are you actually serious? The deadline has passed, we've gone into the next day, and he's accepted an offer for Leon Bullock to go through in the summer. Are you joking? What is Greg Wilson playing at? Leon Bullock is a fabulous player and he's going to get much, much better. This time we have got the option to discuss it. I'm going to ask to renegotiate it because it's a pathetic deal he's agreed. I'm going to say we can get more for it. We think you're right and we could get a lot more for him. We've had a productive meeting. Leave me to do the negotiating. 600 grand's pathetic. This has been... Oh, they're going to renegotiate it themselves. So he's going to go anyway. Right, the objective has changed here. We have to get that second spot this season. Because if we don't go up to the championship, our squad is about to be disintegrated. I am utterly furious. Thankfully, this one can't go through till the summer because the window's now closed. We were building a squad that could take us to the Premier League and we are literally watching it in the space of a couple of days being ripped apart. Is this a genuine joke? He's added on 100 grand for Leon Bullock. Right, I'm protesting. I've had enough now. We'll be weakened by his loss, yes. He's got a lot to offer the club. Right, he's granted this request. What used to mean I'm delighted to grant your request. It hasn't gone unnoticed or in good form. Absolutely pathetic. So Leon Bullock is choosing to stay. or in fact he's not been given a choice to stay. I don't mind if they go over $1 million, like I said earlier in the day, but when we've got to the stage where the window's closed, he's already sold one to raise money. Don't take the mick and disintegrate the squad. This is ridiculous. Finally, we have reached Saturday and can focus on football again. Swan has signed a new deal. Hazeman has signed a new deal. Some small bits of good news at the end of, well, a traumatic week. We've lost one of our star young players, the man I'd earmarked as future skipper permanently. He's here on loan till the end of the year, and we'll try the old trick with Egan. Bullock, Lord knows what's going to happen between now and the next episode. He's still training well. He's a good player, but it looks like a matter of time before he's sold under our nose too. And if the chairman is going to keep selling players for not even massive sums of money and without big sell-on clauses, this is going to get an awful lot harder very soon. Let's get through to the fixtures though. We're away to Crewe in 8th. Looks like a big gap, but there's only 9 points between us. And we've now got to get in this top 2. We've got to try and nick second place because I feel this squad's going to be taken away from us in the summer. Kai Dixon is being shown onto his weaker side. He was on loan with us last year. They've always got good young players themselves. Who's missing at left centre half? Is that where Thornley was before? So let's pick our 11. Let's get it sorted. At least we've had a rest because of the postponements. Right then, we've got to be a little bit more careful because we've got 3 games in a week now with the postponement. We've got Leon Bullock potentially going at any point, and Ricky J. Jones in a bit of a goal drought. So we've given him the kick up the backside. He hasn't scored in his last 5 appearances. We've dropped Javan Malcolm for Parry, who is technically our informed striker, and Richardson's back onto the bench after a little knock. I'd probably want to protect him now so we don't lose him in the summer as well. It means our back 4 has got 3 loan players in now, one of them who has just been sold. And it also means that we can't have the 2 new signings that we got in on the bench as well, because we'd go past the 5 loan players. Now Thornley counts as one. So there's a lot of little obstacles that have been chucked up by the chairman doing that deal. And the fact that he's almost sold the club 3 or 4 times makes it even more annoying because he shouldn't be here to start with. As it is though, the 11 we've put together is G-Cock in goal, McDonough, Brian Waugh, Thornley now a lone player, and Thornhill the back 4. We've got Egan, Alidor Hamilton, Arthur Reed and Leon Bullock the midfield diamond. And then Jones and Parry up front. We need goals, we need a performance, and we need back-to-back promotions because this second half of the season is the last chance we're going to have this squad together. Well, a couple of interesting names in the Crewe side, none more so than the skipper, Johnson Clark Harris up front. Dixon's actually only on the bench, as is James Daly. We might be asking for him back at the rate we're going at the moment. They've made 4 changes. We've not made any, apart from Thornley leaving the club and coming back in. So let's ask the lads to keep things going and see if we can produce the goods. I'm going to stop moaning and hopefully the lads can give me something to smile about. Because at the moment, I don't know if you can tell, I'm not a happy bunny. Well, with 8 minutes on the clock, we've got a throw on the left-hand side. Parry came deep to get it and Thornhill and Reed now keep in possession. Up to Stuart Parry. There's a 3-on-2 but goes back to Hamilton. Ricky J. Jones to Parry. There's options off him. Goes back to Egan. Hamilton. It's all a little bit congested in the middle there, but that's what we like to create at times. It's into Parry. I thought he might have been off. He wasn't. It was saved and tipped away. The clearance only finds Egan. Hamilton to Bullock. That's why we can't afford to lose him as well. What a footballer. He's now level with Ricky J. Jones as top scorer at the club. Someone we'd brought in to compete with Swan for the number 10 role. My word, it's his now, isn't it? What a player. First shot on target of the game. And even that is tinged with the resignation that I know someone else will probably make an offer for him on Monday now. As it's a free kick for Crewe into the front post. Poor marking. Baggett back to Doolan. Got time and space if he wants to shoot. Forced wide there though. Got the chance to cut it back to Brennan. Into the box he goes. Reed down for McDonough and it's cleared downfield. Parry will chase but he's not going to get there. As Davis down the line to Sanders. 3 or 4 up for Crewe. They've committed a lot of numbers here. Gets to the byline. Delivers a good ball. Brian Moore heads away. Jones will pick it up. Over to Parry. Beats the defensive offside trap. He gets himself in. It's a good save from Smith. But with 10 to the break, we lead 1-0. We've been decent value for it. And you know what? The lads have responded well to a very hard week. So at half-time, we'll give them a little bit of praise. And we just want to keep it up. It doesn't matter how we win at the moment. 1-0, just sort of gritting our way over the line is certainly by no means a problem. As Jones brings the ball away from Parry. Gives it back to Alidor Hamilton. Be nice to get a second early in the half. Be really nice to get Ricky back scoring again today. as Brian Moore finds McDonough to Hamilton and Bullock to Jones. Back to Hamilton again. Lovely possession, but not really going anywhere. McDonough on the right back to Brian Moore. And he's coming over halfway to Hamilton. Forced back again. Really strange highlight this. Certainly not a key one, although it could be a big goal with lots of passes. Bullock's in again. Saved by the keeper. There you go. If the scouts were watching that miss, he's rubbish. You don't want to sign him. Though we're back quite quickly after for Thornley. The traitor's got the ball on halfway. I'm only joking. It's a great career move for him, but I'm absolutely devastated as Egan gives it to Hamilton. Gets it inside to Reed and Parry. 2 running off him. Bullock to Hamilton. Has to score. Oh, we're going to regret missing all of these. That is 4 clear-cut one-on-ones that have gone begging now. And to only have a 1-goal lead is pretty criminal with the chances we've had. As Reed into the box to Bullock. We're always reliant on him. He goes back to Egan. Chips wide, but it's headed away as far as McDonough. He picks it up on the right-hand side to Egan. I'm starting to wonder if that is Johnson Clark Harris, because he'd be in his mid-30s now as it's into Ricky J. Jones. Saved by Smith. It stays 1-0. And another chance goes begging as it's downfield from Crewe. Headed away by Egan and Reed to Bullock. To Jones. Has to score surely. Saved again to Parry. And the rebound's in. The Ricky J. Jones goal strike continues. The goal drought, sorry. But we've got a 2-0 lead. And I think with that we're going to get the victory. An hour gone. Good performance from Hemel. Well, confirmation that it is the Johnson Clark Harris at 33 as we get the ball in goal with Zach Geacock. Can we just calm it down and keep possession for the rest of the game? No, he's gone for a big long kick. Bullock's going to try and challenge for it and parry, but Davis wins the header. Up towards Clark Harris. His header through towards Geacock. Big kick downfield. No idea why we saw that bit of the highlight as it's in midfield with Sanders again for Crewe. The host coming forward, trying to find a route back into it. Because they're right in this mix as well, by the way. As Doolan gets down the right. To the byline he goes. Crosses in. Johnson Clark Harris is up. And he gets just enough on it to beat Geacock, who got a hand to it up to his left. But not enough. Let's get some subs on. Because we've got Thornhill playing poorly and on a yellow. So McGinley will come on with his experience. Reed knackered and on a yellow in the middle. So Hazeman on for him. And then, in fact, I'm going to put him in the holding role. Do I want to lose that height from Egan, though? I'm going to have to. Let's go for fitness first. Richardson's in. And that's the best we can do. It's 15 minutes to hold on. Because if we don't, after being 2-0 up, it will just really typify this episode, won't it? Clark Harris wins another header for Crewe. They're just going straight up to him, and we can't cope. It's cover down the left for Crewe to Daly. Forced into a wide position here as it's chipped into him again. Don't you dare. Oh, it's off the line, but Owen Dale puts the rebound in. 13 for the season for him. And to compound the misery of the big sale taken out of our hands, we've now managed to blow a 2-goal lead against Crewe Alexandra. This episode is an absolute disaster, isn't it? As Doolan comes down the right, it might get worse yet. Chips it forward towards Dale again. Hazeman deals with it well. Back to Geacock. His clearance only goes 20 yards. Hits Sanders. Into Johnson Clark Harris. What a time for a howler. Oh, you've got to be joking. We have capitulated off the pitch with the owner and on it with the players. This episode, I think, might be the one that defines the start of a difficult spell for this save. It will certainly define why we're not likely to go up. Certainly not in second. And we've got a lot of recovering to do because this is almost unexplainable. The chairperson started it. The players have carried it on. As we go into the last minute of stoppage time, it's Dixon to Baggott. Over the top. Thornley heads down for Bullock. Can we get an equaliser? It would just about salvage it. Parry's in. Has to score. Oh, it's straight at the keeper. How many of them have we missed today? What a way for that to turn around. 2-0 up in the 67th minute. 3-2 down in the 85th. We've lost our model citizen central defender for about £1 million. And Greg Wilson is trying his best to sell Bullock too. This is going to be a long old finish to the season. And if we play like that on the road, it's going to be pretty hard to watch as well. Well, we cling on in second place with that game in hand still. Other results going our way. But let's have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. Who knows whether we'll have Bullock agreed to a deal to go somewhere else or whatever else by then. We'll come back about halfway in between. I'm tempted to show the Charlton game because they're top of the league at the minute, but they're probably not the sides we'll be fighting. Mansfield, another side up there, but we'll decide when we get a bit closer. Coventry on the final day will be massive. Barnsley likely to be too. But I've got to go and recover from that because that was one of the worst episodes I've had in this series and one of the worst weeks. Thank you to Greg Wilson for selling our best player. Thank you again to him for trying to sell our second best. And thank you to the lads for throwing away a 2-0 lead at Crewe. I'm going to need a day off to freshen the head before we play at home to bottom side Accrington. What can possibly go wrong? If you did enjoy this episode, I tell you what, you say you like seeing pain sometimes, well, you got it today. Please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments if I'm right. I think it's so crucial that we go up this year now because the squad we have next year is never going to be this strong again. Not on the budget we've got. You don't get those players every year. And we're going to have to really take our chances to be in a good position. If you want to stay up to date and find out how we get on, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. Have you ever had a chairperson get as annoying as that? It's shades of what we had with Domenico at Bangor City the first season last year, isn't it? But thank you very much for watching. You can find anything you need in the eye above. There's playlist links, there's the Twitch channel, the football podcast and the food one too. But I'll see you again soon for some big League One games and hopefully we haven't lost any more players. I'll see you there.